Hi guys, I'll tell you a little story about my pumpkin seeds. I got the pumpkin seeds from M.I. Gardener, who lives in America. What happened, he found this massive great big pumpkin by the side of the road, and he saved all the seed and he's distributed the seed all around the world. All you had to do was to give him a little bit of postage money and he would send you probably 3 or 4 seeds in the post and for you to plant. Now it's a worldwide competition. Anyone could have entered it, but a few of us have entered here, which is myself obviously, a chap called Tony, another chap called Andrew and Bob. So there's 4 of us on this site that's entered this competition, worldwide competition, to find the heaviest pumpkin from these actual seeds from America. So thanks a lot to M.I. Gardener for sending the seeds. I'm just going to take you up to my bit up the top here and show you the pumpkin seed, what I'm actually growing. It's only a small plant at the moment, but I'm just going to take you up there and show you the seed, how it's getting on so far. Right, so we're here. So this is the first one. I've grown actually 2 pumpkin seeds. This is a USA one, so he's coming on quite well now. The roots are starting to come out the bottom, so I might have to pop that one on shortly, but that's the size of it so far. Not huge at the moment, but he's only been in for about 3 weeks anyway, so he's not going to be massive. That's the other one I'm growing. So I've got 2, just in case one fails, and this one probably looks the stronger one out of the 2 because they were planted roughly the same time. So that's the size of them at the moment. Once again, M.I. Gardener, thanks very much Luke for sending these pumpkin seeds to me, and I'll keep you updated with the pumpkin seeds and see how we get on. I've got lots of other things in here actually at the moment. I don't want to put them outside too soon because frightening to death of frost, and that is actually possible. Maybe Thursday I think it's possible, we might get some frost, so I don't want to put them out too early, too quickly yet. But these are my runner beans, they're Moonlight variety. I've only done a few to start with, but I will put some more on so I get a succession of plants. I got some runner beans here. These are like black runner beans, so they look very healthy in there. Also got some tomato seeds. I'm growing this on for Lewis, who currently hasn't got a greenhouse. There's a long story to that, but hopefully have his greenhouse shortly, soon, and he can have these plants, these tomato plants, to grow in his greenhouse. They're strange little varieties. This one's a violet tomato apparently, and this one in here is a dark blue variety. So be interesting actually to see how they come on, those 2 there. I got some vegetable squash in here as well. I got some Maxima sprouts, they're coming on. They actually need to go in shortly because they're actually really coming through the pot now. I'm not going to pop them on, I'm just going to pop them into the ground. So that's Maxima seeds. Excellent variety, Maxima seeds. I highly recommend them actually. They're nice tight sprouts, so yeah. I think what I'm going to do with these now, I think I'm just going to put them in actually. Maxima sprouts are just going to pop in the ground because they're coming through the pot, and it'll be pot bound in a minute. They're flopping over a bit, but I'll plant them a bit deeper so that you can they'll stand up a bit better than that. So I'm going to pop these in now. Alright, I've dug this bed here now, so I'll put a line down. I'm going to plant these, but always remember that the sprouts, cauliflowers, etc. like hard ground to grow in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk up and down here now to harden the ground in a little bit, then put these sprout plants in. So you're going nice and hard down, heel down, to make this quite solid, because they hate to grow in soft ground. And that's probably one of the reasons why people get their sprouts that's blown. It looks like a flower rather than a tight sprout should be. It's probably because they've grown it into softer ground. So I'm going along here now, hardening the ground off. I'll walk up and down as well. Nice solid ground for them to grow in. That should be about right now. Right, I'm going to put 6 in here, so I'm going to just space these out a little bit so one can go in there. Just to judge it, because they grow quite big. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. I put one on the end there. 6. Just going to go there somewhere. That's about ideal spacing, really. About 2 foot apart, I'd say. At least 2 foot apart. To give you some sort of idea of spacing. But please make sure the ground's hard. Otherwise, your sprouts will blow. Planting them's quite easy now. So all you got to do is just dig a hole and put them in, really, and firm the ground around after it. Oh, look, a bit of grass. Not to worry. So you dig a little hole. Pop a sprout plant out. Pop into the hole. Fill the hole back up again. And firming down as you do it. There you go. You live there now. I'm not too sure actually if you can get cabbage root fly on sprouts, but just in case, I've made some here. This should stop the cabbage root fly from getting down into the roots and eating the roots and killing the actual plant. So all I've done, you can buy these on the market, little round ones. They're quite expensive. It's just as easy just to cut up some cardboard. I'll put a little hole there where the stem's going to go, and what I'm going to do, I'll show you now anyway. So they don't need to be round. I mean, I'll cut square ones out. It doesn't matter. Basically what you do is get your cardboard and put around the stem to stop the cabbage root fly, so you've got a little bit careful and get the stem in just like that. Just tuck it around the stem. This should stop the cabbage root fly. I don't know if you remember me putting this in probably last October. I scattered it. I probably showed you clips before. It was quite low by then, but this is grazing rye, and what I'm doing, I'm leaving this row completely in here, so it goes to seed. It's started to go to seed now, and I'm going to collect the seed, but I think it looks lovely actually. Grazing rye. Hi guys, got my sun hat on. Nice? No? Yes? Comment down below. Anyway, you remember me putting these probably in the Paplo F1 beetroot. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take these down and put them in the ground, transplant them. So I'll start them off in a tray. You see a previous video where I did that, and I'm quite successful by transplanting beetroot. So I'm going to just go down there now and pop them in the ground. But if you like my hat, or don't like my hat, comment below. I won't wear it again if I get bad reports. Okay, I'll see you in a minute, and I'll pop these in the ground. Right, I've dug the ground over, prepared the ground, so put my line down. So I'm going to pop these beetroots in the ground now. Right, easy to do. if I just tease some of these beetroot plants out. I don't like these to grow too big, so I'll plant them probably quite close-ish together because I like them quite sweet and quite young. I don't like these big massive beetroots. So I'm probably planting about 3 inches apart, something like that. Gonna lay them on the top so I know where they actually go. Work my way down the line. It's always good to have something like these tread metal things so you don't actually compact the soil. You spent all that effort to actually dig it up and you don't really want to compact it down again. Right, decided to put a double row of these beetroot in, and obviously the last thing to do is give them a good old watering in. Bit of experiment this one was, put some peas in here, a little 30 litre bucket. I'll drop the link underneath where you can get these little buckets from anyway. But yeah, I don't know what, unwin peas, I don't know what variety they are, but I decided to put them in a bucket, but they're growing up nicely now. They're not doing too bad actually, they're actually grabbing onto these little sticks here there. And nothing's going to flower yet, but they are coming on well. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I might even do another bucket like that. Right, I got a 30 litre bucket here. If you haven't got much space on your allotment plot and you just want to, or not even allotment plots, if you've got like your back garden, or if you've got a little space on your balcony, you can always grow some peas in a bucket. This is a 30 litre bucket. What I'm going to do, I'm going to fill up with compost. I'm going to plant some of these peas, the container peas from unwins. So what I'm going to do is fill this bucket up, the 30 litre bucket, and show you how I pop them in the ground. So I've got the bucket. What I'm going to do is just fill this to the top with compost. As I said, if you run out of space, this is a little great idea to have a few peas on your plate. All the compost that goes in here I shall reuse again next year anyway. I know they said you shouldn't, but I will use it for something. I'll mix some fertiliser in with it and grow my potatoes again in these pots and take out the roots from the peas. So this won't go to waste. I'll probably use this for a couple of years. But this is ideal, as I said, if you're running out of space, or you've got a bit of space in your back garden, and you can pop this pot anywhere you want to then. And I think it's quite decorative as well. You don't have to have an allotment plot. As I said, back gardens are good enough. Firm that down a little bit. Just going to want some more compost in here. Fill to the top. Get rid of that little bit. Yeah, get in there now. So basically this is a 5-10 minute job. By the way, I'll pop a link down the bottom underneath where you can get these buckets from quite cheaply on eBay. I'll stick the link underneath for you, or maybe even on the screen. Right, so I filled the bucket. I've got my peas. Don't know the size of the peas. There you go, that's the size of them, so they're quite large. And what I'm going to do is going to pop them, place them on the top. I'm going to just go in diagonal lines. Don't have to be too exact. So I just put them in lines, like so. I've actually done all these buckets before and they've all come up well. So I'm going to put some more in there. Not all of them would germinate, obviously, so there we go. Pat that down. Just sprinkle some more compost on the top. Leave them to germinate. Obviously, give them a good watering. Don't give them too much water because you can rot them out. So one good soaking probably will do before, and then do another soaking once you've seen them start to germinate. So yeah, a little 10-minute job that. Peas in a container. That's Unwin's peas. Right, just going to stick some of the easiest things you can grow. Going to chuck in some radish. So these are French breakfast. So what I'm going to do, easiest thing you can do is plant these. Make a little drill. I'll prepare the soil. So I'll just stick a drill up through. And a packet of seeds. So these are French breakfast. See the size of the seeds, not too small. Basically just go along the drill, dropping them in. Some more. Drop in the drill. Be enough. Then just fill the drill over. I use my 2 fingers to actually cover the drill up. Get rid of some of the biggest ones. I actually know then when where they're going to come up to. So obviously where my fingers are gone, they're going to come up through this little bit I made a mound of. What I'll do now is give them a good old water and let them germinate. So that's radish French breakfast. Dr. Fothergill's, I think I've sown here. So these can be planted now all the way up to September.